Hello, I'm recording from our New York hotel. We have made it 2 days on the train from New Orleans to here. Finally got a shower, a decent meal, even though it was only fast food. But feeling good, having a great time. The train was definitely interesting, like I had mentioned before, interesting characters. One story I want to share with you, and it kind of really goes hand in hand with what the Conflicting Thoughts podcast is talking about, is how do we treat others around us? And so my son and I, we noticed there was an old couple having a hard time getting all their luggage up some stairs. So we asked if we could help, and they were getting on the train we were on. And so we helped them carry their stuff up the stairs. They thanked us. They wanted to pay us. We declined. Kind of that normal kindness you might see. But throughout the 2 days we were on the train, as I'd walk by him, I'd say hello. And finally, it got to the point he asked me my name. So we exchanged first names, got talking a little bit, and then it was that, just kindness, politeness, communication. But near the end of our trip, he said, "Hey, I want to ask you a question." I said, "Okay, what is it?" And he goes, "Are you a minister?" And I chuckled because if you know anything about my upbringing, my father was a minister. I'd contemplated being one, but had decided to go into education instead. But that's my way I serve. I minister to youth. But anyway, going back to his question, he said, "Are you a minister?" And I chuckled and I said, "Well, not really. I do teach at a Christian school." But this is the interesting part now, is I said, "But I love serving. And I think all believers should want to do that." And that's when he goes, "You're right." And so that concept of we are all ministers because we're all serving. Funny enough that my daily table talk devotional has actually been going through the same thing on how Christ came to serve. He's called us to serve. And so that's what we're supposed to do, is we are supposed to serve others out of love. And my son and I were able to do this, and just perfect timing. Someone caught on that also knows Jesus, and he knew something was different within us as well. And so that just sparked up a fun conversation for about 10 more minutes. He got my email, so we'll probably be in communication. Not some earth-shattering, life-changing story, but just the concept of Christ had put us on this planet to love him, love others, and to show it through service. And that can look a variety of ways. But just one cool story on this train ride. And I also think it's interesting that it was this train ride that all this unfolded, because this was a rough one. Not much space, hard to sleep. Like I said, it was almost like a commuter train, so it was loud. But then this happened, where another believer knew something was up with me and knew I was probably a believer as well. And so just a cool story. But here we are in New York. We explored it for about 2 hours this evening. I've never been here. And so smelled like cigarette smoke and other smoke after 2 hours of being on the street. But just had a great time seeing a little bit of the city. Didn't interact with very many people just because we're so exhausted. Kind of that tunnel vision, bright lights, Times Square, all these other places. And so I'm really excited to get out there tomorrow and get to talk to some people, get to explore the city, and have a blast with my son. So thanks for tuning in. I hope to catch you again soon.